RQ Bologna starts this weekend, and we have a new website. All that and more on this week's episode of The Winning Point.
Was the night before Bologna, and all through the cast, not a host was starting, not even Castanova. That was so bad. I had so much time to prepare for this, and I didn't.
Painfully obvious that you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I'm usually
Castanova,
quite good
though.
at those things, but I just didn't do any. I didn't even think about doing it until literally 3 seconds before we started. That's what you get. Yeah. So bad.
Well, what did we start?
We started The Winning Point, episode 35, aka season 2, episode 1 for the true believers. I am Blevins. To my, I don't know, is it my left or right? One of those is Casanova, and all the way over there is Charmer. What is up, my friends? We are on the eve, on the precipice of Bologna. So excited.
So as of you watching this video or listening to this podcast, I'm in Bologna. I have transported from this seat to Bologna, Italy, and you can come say hi. I'll say hi back. I'm relatively introverted, but I'll still hang out. We're chilling. Don't be afraid to approach. I'm not that scary. Am I scary? Am I that scary? I'm not
No.
You
Charmer,
intimidate
though.
me.
Charmer, though,
Charmer,
is scary.
Yeah, a scary guy.
Because when you defeat Charmer, he spawns into 2 baby Boblevs, and that's nothing is scarier than that.
Would be very intimidated by that. If you're listening to this or watching this, have also transported, but not to Bologna. I am in Wisconsin for an SCG event. So if you are playing card games still in the States in Wisconsin and you see me, you can say hello to me there.
There you go.
There we go. And
Perfect.
there will be places to say hello to me that we'll talk about in just a second. But before that, we've got some nice, cool updates, Cass, for new website. Who dis?
Yeah, I've been working my ass off alongside a couple of other people. We had Prismat and Randy help me out with some of the content for it, but I'd been feeling like there was not a good site to point people to if they just wanted to immediately find something to play for like a Nexus night or even starting competition. Because like when someone asks you for a deck list, there's a bunch of sites you can send people to, and there's a lot of information to parse through. But I was feeling like, what if we just make a website that is a living tier list that we update regularly, and each of those legends on that tier list is actually a button, and when you click the button, it gives you an example deck list. It is a price that we are getting from like TCG Player API or whatever, updating it regularly. And then it has some like very basic tips for your early game, your mid game, your late game, what the win con is. A couple extra tips for just playing the deck, getting yourself started. This is not your in-depth Metafy guide. This is, hey, do you want to learn how to kind of basically play this deck, try it out on TCG Arena or on TTS, and then maybe bring it to your Nexus nights, or decide if it's a deck for you? This is like the best place, I think, for you to come check that out. And we've got even some like card insights on like how much certain cards are being played in different decks. If you click on a specific card, you can see, oh, this is in a lot of decks currently. A lot of legends are playing this card currently. So there's some cool things that you can do with this. And this is just the first feature for the site. We're going to continue to add to this. There's a card list as well if you just want to explore the library while you're there. I know there's other ways that you can do that, but you can also do it here. And you just want to, if you want to check this out, it is live now over on turn'emsideways.gg. Yeah, it should have a lot of really cool stuff on it. We worked really hard, and I would love if you would give us any feedback on what you'd like to see for features in the future of a site like this, especially if it's a feature that doesn't exist elsewhere. We really want it to be kind of this one-stop shop for you to jump in, pick up a deck, and go try it out for yourself. Or if you're just interested in what the meta looks like, it is being updated by, as I said, myself, Prismat, and Randy, who, you know, at least Prismat and Randy have results to back it up, and I'm a yapper that watches every single tournament, so at least I'm somewhat reliable, guys. I promise. I'm putting a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, and notably, neither myself nor Charmer has contributed to this, so you know that the stuff is good.
I was just about to say, well, you know it's good because I was not consulted. If you're looking for memes, you can just hit my inbox on any social media platform, and I will send you quirky, fun stuff. If you just want to play multiplayer or play casually, I've got you. I will say what excites me the most about this tool or website or however you want to describe it, the most is that as somebody who has covered a lot of card games and played a lot of card games, the number one thing I hear from new players is simply, hey, I'm coming from this game and I liked this deck. What is like that deck? And this is a great way to just say, hey, look, here's a quick tier list, and you can click on any of them to get like a quick summary, right? It's not a big in-depth guide like you said, but if there's somebody who's like, I really wanted to play Delver or whatever, you're like, hey, look, I got you. Go click on these, and you'll get a quick description. So that's nice to have just readily available, and it's kind of agnostic as well. Like, yes, we could do catered content that says if you're coming from Magic and you liked these decks, play these, and if you're coming from Star Wars and you liked these decks, play these, and if you're coming from Flesh and Blood, right? But this is just a here's a quick summary of each of them, go. And I think that's great.
Yeah, and I think people immediately, one of the funny things, we were tossing back and forth on like this F tier that we have at the bottom, where it's like, realistically, if we wanted to tier every single legend, we need like a bunch of letters because they're not all on the same level. So basically, anything we put under D tier is just like, this could probably land in a lot of different places. They're not all on the same level, but they're more decks that we just didn't consider like serious tournament contenders. But we still wanted to make sure that if you're interested in that legend, there's still like a brief summary of kind of how to play it and an example deck list for you to jump in and try that legend. Because I don't think there's any reason to not play like anything in Riftbound. I think I've seen people have fun on literally every legend at like Nexus nights. I think that it's a cool thing that Riftbound has been able to do, where it feels like all the legends at least like can do something powerful. So I just think that's always the weird thing with tier lists, is sometimes you get those like bottom tiers and it's like, don't play this. But for me, I'm like, no, I mean, please click these buttons and like try this. If it's a legend you're excited about, like you should do it.
And for tournaments with metal card prizing, every legend is S tier, because like a Lucian deck will win the Lucian metal card. And I'm going to be the one playing that Lucian in Bologna, so don't bother bringing it. Anyway, no, it's really cool. It reminds me of EDH Rec, which is a very popular website for Commander players. And it's not like, here is the tournament winning deck. It's like an aggregate of like, if you want to play Rogsai, which will key in the type of EDH content that I watch for people who are knowers. If you want a Rogsai, it's not going to tell you like, here is the Rogsai that just won a tournament, because like, who cares about Commander tournaments? But also, it's like, here's a card that is in 93% of decks. Here's a card so it's like it's more like that, where it's like, here are like some sample decks, or cards that are good in decks. Here is how popular a card is among other decks, which is, I think, a really useful tool, especially for people that want to build their own decks and just like have a starting point. And I love looking at stuff like this. I also love looking at like tournament lists, but it's also like sifting through a bunch of tournaments. Sometimes I just want just give me a good starting place and I'll go from there. I don't need to sift through the
there's good
day
tools to go
3
see every single deck from tournaments. Those
yes.
But this was not trying to be that same thing. It was just like, exactly the type of people is just like, just give me a list. Like, do you want to see what Miracle Draven looks like? Yeah, click this button. That's what Miracle Draven looks like. So you can go play it if you want. Same thing for mid-range Draven. We have the tabs or whatever if there's multiple versions of a deck. And the tabs are tiered within them as well if we felt like they're on different tiers.
Love it. Cass, there's more new fun stuff coming too, I hear. Or are we not talking about that?
Wait, are we the merch? We do have new merch coming out soon, and it is Spirit Forged playmats. We do have Aurelia and Draven are going to be the two. That art will probably be spoiled soon. Not even in this video, just spoiled soon. So look out for those. They're going to have 2 more different types of mats coming this way for Spirit Forged. I think the plan is generally to do about 2 per set, but I'm not gonna like commit to that. I'm just saying that's like the general idea. And we did 2 the first set, and we have 2 for this one. So track record as of now, we're doing 2%, but we'll see how that goes.
Yep, we're on pace for that.
Appreciate that we are maintaining our esports roots, gentlemen, because we had the announcement of an announcement just now,
Mm-hmm.
and that is not lost on me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is in post, it might just be here. But also in post, it might not be. And then you just have to wait for it to come out a different time.
So then we should cue it up for, and here is what that art looks like.
There you go. And now either you're going to do that and nothing's going to show up, or it'll show up right there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the beauty of post. Speaking of the beauty of post, that's not actually a segue that I'm going to use, but I'm going to be... I thought I could come up with something. Look, I just worked for 12 hours. I need to pack after this. I'm on fumes right now. But I'm going to be packing for Bologna. And if you are there right now, it is possible that if you're in the venue right now, I am going to be doing a card slinger event, meet and greet type thing. I don't really know exactly what it is. I think it's basically, I'm going to be at a booth from 3 to 5 on Friday, and I've got some decks and we can play some games, which will be sweet. So that's at Bologna. It's an official thing. I'm not just setting up a chair. This is with Riot. I promise. It's like, hey, wait, this address isn't even at the venue. Wait, no, it's in the venue on Friday, 3 to 5 local time, which is probably before this episode comes out. So you may see me walking out of the venue already. But if you do happen to see this in time and you are there, you can get a cool little recruit token themed like our play mats. Here we go. Yes. And you'll be able to tell that this is the first print run because it's got this stupid white line that I didn't get rid of. So that it's high quality because I got them printed.
That's the alpha version.
It's the alpha version, and it's also got my details on the back. So classic, like, follow, subscribe. But yeah, that should be cool. Should be fun. I've already had some people reach out on social media, say that they're excited. And for those people, I'm sorry that that's what you have to look forward to. But the event will be awesome, and I will be there, and we can play some games. I've got 4 decks physically built already. So
yeah. My cards yet.
I've opened 7 boxes so far. So
nice.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I got a case, and then I had a box from Riot as well. So, and then another 2 groups of people at my LGS also opened a case, and it was basically like our Nexus night was, we're going to trade for 3 hours and then play a couple of games. Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. So yeah, I've got Lucian, which I'm actually playing in the event. That's not a surprise, so I'm not spoiling anything. I've got Aurelia built, which is basically the deck from the top 4 from last week, from Nanjing, except I only have 1 purple Draven, so I've just got 2 Aurelias. Maybe I'll pick up another purple Draven before then. Yeah, I mean, I would rather run the Dravens because I like the card better, but it's not going to feel much different. I have Sivir Aurora, and I've got Darius Hook. That is basically just the Darius Hook from last season, but I'm like, what are cool cards I could add to it? And so I've got like Rek'Sai in there. There's a yellow Azir, and there's a couple other.
Xin Zhao, right? Clearly, right? Xin Zhao.
Oh, Xin Zhao is a good one. I will add him before I play.
Very good addition.
I basically was just like looking at my epics. I'm like, I want to play these Rek'Sais. I'm not building Rek'Sai. Oh, I've got Hook built. So yeah. So
she's good.
That should be fun. Yeah, fun deck. Fun times. Come play. We'll have some fun, and I'm gonna win. Probably not.
And that's card slinging in the alley, right?
Card slinging in the alley out back behind the convention center. In the pizzeria adjacent.
You haven't been to one of these yet. This is your first one because you didn't get to make it out to Houston. But card slinging is really cool. It's just they have a little booth right in the middle of the venue. For anybody who went to Houston, same thing here in Bologna. If you did not, cool little booth. Last time it was all devs. This time it looks like they're doing probably devs and content creators that you can go play. And as Levin said, like, you know, you can beat him for a token. He'll probably give you a token anyway. But,
I'll give you a token anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the line for that was always like just completely full constantly. So it was really sweet. So definitely excited for Blev to be doing that.
And I'm currently, this is another announcement. I'm currently working on what I'm calling Blevs of prizing, because I have so many extra Spirit Forged legend cards from the box. Like I literally have a stack that's like this thick of just extra legends because you got so many. I am going to sign some of them, and if you have a cool deck from Spirit Forge, I'll give you the Blevs of prizing for the event for that deck. So there you go. Bring me cool decks. Speaking
here first, bring Garen.
Bring Garen. Oh no, it's only Spirit Forge champions. But if I had a cool foil Garen, I would maybe do that. I wouldn't, but I could do that. And I could get a cool foil Garen from the new Nexus Night promos, because we've got those fully revealed. We've seen them for a little bit now, but now they're in our hands.
China. Now they're we were just kind of confirming it's the same ones, and it is, to my understanding, the same ones, which is what we expected. But it's nice. You can get your foil versions of the Proving Grounds Legends. The new runes are quite cool, of course. I do like the cherry blossoms. Some people have said they look like they're just kind of stapled on there, but I actually think they look kind of nice in general. So I'm not against it. You can also get the really nice and very important signature spells of the Proving Grounds Legends if you were missing your third copy of Tibbers that you needed for your Annie deck. But I think maybe for some multiplayer stuff, you want your extra copies of Tibbers. You got to get out to your Nexus Knights to try and get these. Also the champions from that as well. Just a good way to get additional Proving Grounds stuff. Notably, I think we all kind of thought Flash was going to be in here, and it still is not. So that's kind of the big bummer, I think, of this. But my hope and thought is that they might end up in maybe the next set of Nexus Night promos as they continue to
just
try
end
and
up in the next set.
Yeah, maybe they just straight up print Flash in a set. Yeah, honestly, that would be the best solution at this point. But yeah.
Or I have this sneaking suspicion that they might take the Flesh and Blood route, where we'll get the reprint, but it will be at a high rarity. So if you're not familiar with that game, sometimes the coveted reprints get like a cool special art treatment, but then they are at like a legendary rarity. And so maybe we'll get an overnumbered Flash in the next set.
Please no.
And that will make everybody happy. Everyone will rejoice.
No.
Prices will plummet, I'm sure. That is sarcasm,
thanks, I hate
by
it.
the way. Sorry, my voice is going, so if you can't tell.
I do like that idea. Like, I would love to have commons and uncommons with cool art treatments in, like, overnumbered slots infrequently and very selectively, but I think that would be cool. Like, a like cool defy would make people even more mad when I counter their spell. Like, I'm kind of here for that.
I already have that with Riposte. It's fine.
Yeah, true. True.
I just want a flashy Flash.
Ooh, I hate it. I do need all of those foil Spirit Forged or all the foil Proving Grounds cards, because I need them for the eventual cube I'm making for Riftbound. So I'm gonna need the foil versions.
I need them because I just need them. You guys are talking about getting the foil versions. I don't have the regular versions. So for somebody like me, I am the target audience. It's not like it's been in print, Blevins. It's not like I can go buy them.
Well, they understand. I mean, they're at least going to start
coming to my LGS. They have some.
Yeah.
True. Well, we have alluded to it. We've talked about it, and we're going to now delve even deeper into RQ Regional Qualifier Bologna with our predictions for what we expect to see. We saw 4 weeks of Chinese tournaments with the Spirit Forge meta. We've seen it sort of evolve and shape there. We've seen a handful of online tournaments of varying sizes, show matches, features, players, content creators just playing around. A lot of talk. And now is the big stage for the West to show, for the, I guess, the rest of the world rather, to show what they've been brewing, what they are playing, what they think is the best at the highest current stage. Cass, where do you think we are going to go when we hit Italy this weekend?
Yeah, let's just start with like our top 8 predictions. Let's kind of go through like a breakdown, right? Because I think, as we saw with China, Draven trended downwards as far as kind of disseminating out into more people playing for best ofs. And I think best ofs are definitely driving a bit of the meta as far as representation numbers. So I don't think we're getting like a 40% Draven or even 35% Draven kind of meta that we're going to come into. It's going to be a little bit more wide. I think slightly artificially so. I still think, even with the results from China, that Draven is still kind of this, like, it is the best deck in the format. I do think it's beatable. I don't think you have to play Draven or else you're like griefing, but it is, it should have best deck in the format numbers, right? It should be like, this is clearly that best choice. Now, and I think that will kind of translate to top 8, because I think top 8 will still kind of filter out a lot of the best of aspirants and leave us with kind of mostly players who showed up bringing a deck that they intended to try and win the tournament with, not just win a best of with. And while that can be one and the same for some players, for other players, they're like, well, I think I can maybe make a deep run, but end of the day, like, if I really wanted to try and win the tournament, I would just play Draven, or I'd play Kai'Sa, or I'd play Aurelia or something like that, right? That'd be the choice. But I think so when we get down to it, that top 8 is mostly going to be comprised of people who went there, picked a deck that they said, I'm going to win the tournament with. I don't care. I'm either going to win or I'm not going to get a best of, like, whatever. I'm just going to, I'm going to do my best.
Just going to go for it.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I have to decide between 3 or 4 Dravens, because I do think Draven is pretty insane. I think Miracle Draven is still really insane. And the question is, are there enough pilots that are going to be playing it fast enough to not run into an issue of
very
ties?
legitimate. Yeah,
I think there are some, and that's the thing, is like, will those some Miracle Draven pilots that are playing it fast enough, will they have the run that I think they can and make it to the top? Because then I think that's probably more Dravens overall, whereas mid-range Draven, also good, is going to probably represent some amount of that top 8. I want to go something like 3 Draven, 1 Irelia, 1 Ezreal. I think a Fiora is sneaking in. This puts me at 6.
Yep. So surprisingly close to my call.
This is so far only one off of mine. I pre-typed mine out.
It's also one off of. Yeah, I've got mine here. Oops, spoiler.
Loaded up. 1 Kai'Sa, and the question is I think I just want to give 1 more to one of these other decks. I'm not like looking at any other deck that necessarily is making the top 8.
No Sivir?
My initial confidence in
Rip Randy?
I don't even think Randy's gonna play Sivir. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Fair.
I just don't know that Sivir should make it. I'm just trying to think between giving 1 more Ezreal, because I really have a lot of faith in that deck, but I think it's gonna have time issues as well. Or if I just do the safe bet and give it a Draven. And I think I'll just say Draven. I'll say 4 Draven, 1 Aurelia, 1 Ezreal, 1 Kai'Sa, 1 Fiora. And we're going to have like a bit of a weird spread once we get towards the top, but realistically a lot of Dravens are going to get in. I think that's what I'll go with. I'm not surprised if we have an extra Aurelia, an extra Ezreal, whatever, but this is like what I'll lock in as my initial prediction, because I do think Draven is kind of that strong of a deck. And while there are plenty of decks that can challenge, I think a lot of the players that are really trying to win this tournament are just locking Draven and bringing it.
Do you want to go next, Charmer, or do you want me to?
Sure, I'll go. I'm of a very similar thought pattern. I did not have the Fiora, and I was on 3 Draven. So I have 3 Draven, 1 Kai'Sa, 1 Irelia. I also have 1 Ezreal for similar reasons. I have a lot of faith. I just worry about time. The reason I landed on 3 Draven, I think it'll be 2 Jund Draven, 1 Trash Draven. And then for my last 2 spots, I think that instead of Fiora, my wild card slot was, I think, a Lucian will make it.
Sure.
And the other spot, I was also in agreement with your previous thought of, like you said, like one of these other decks. I think an Annie will make it.
Okay.
I think Annie's still really
Good
good.
deck.
Yeah.
And for the people who are like, I just want to win the event, I could totally see somebody high rolling on an Annie. It's not even really a high roll. It's just a good deck. So
Yeah.
that's what I had.
No, I think that's a pretty reasonable take. I think the Lucian
Yeah.
versus Fiora spot, that sounds.
They're both,
They're a wild card pick. Honestly, I'm throwing
those
Fiora
two
in
in
there
a
'cause,
zero
yo,
that I was
on
like,
top 80. I'm top 80.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
playing-
you stole my thunder because I also had Lucian, and for that reason, because I'm going to be the
playing
8th
for the middle
place.
card, and I'm top 80.
Yep. So for that reason, I'm actually changing mine up a little bit because I've got full faith here. So the 3 Dravens I locked in. I've got the Kaisa, I've got the Ezreal, I've got the Irelia. I had a second Ezreal, but I'm changing that now to Fiora because Cass is top 8ing, and then the 8th spot is Lucian. We're both top 8ing.
We're both top 80. Yeah, my confidence level as far as like trying to make top 8 on Fiora right now is quite low, but I also want to just like I wanted to just manifest that Fiora is gonna, like, I'm gonna get it done. That's my best of and a top 8. But I think the deck's like good, but there is like there are issues. Like that's the thing. That's why if you wanted to play for top 8, play for win, like you should bring Draven. Maybe you can get away with bringing Kaisa or Aurelia for that spot, or Ezreal if you really are confident in your time management. But like Draven is the easy one if you are saying I just want to play to like 100% win, or if you do, like we've seen it with the Kaisa, we've seen it with the Ezreal. I mean, Annie won 1 week as well. Like there are ways that you can kind of target Draven and really have a good matchup if you feel really confident on one of those decks. I don't know that Fiora or Lucian for that matter are in that list of decks where I sit here and I think you should be able to win the tournament on that. Though to be fair, 2 Fioras did make finals. Like it's not like it's unheard of. So I'll be fighting. I'll be trying really hard.
I need to, if I'm picking Lucian in the top 8, it has to be me because I'm going to be real mad if a Lucian top 8 and it's not me because my dream scenario is still like squeak into day 2, look around and be like, no, Lucian, are you playing Lucian? Are you playing Lucian? No. Judge? I need to go make my 2 p.m. draft. See if I can duo queue and just not show up to my match. But yeah, no, I'm another one that I have seen rumblings of, and rumblings is about as much as I've seen, but people have been talking a big game about 2 other decks that I would not be surprised if we definitely did not see them in the top 8 or even the top 16, but Ornn and Rek'Sai, I think people are talking a big game on like, oh, these could potentially be Draven targets. And we've seen, for what it's worth, we've seen those decks do well in Chinese tournaments. Granted, many of those tournaments are best of 1.
Yeah.
So take that for what it's worth. But they have put up a non-zero amount of competitive results.
I like Rek'Sai. To be clear, like I like Rek'Sai, but I like Rek'Sai in a similar way that I like Fiora, and to an extent, I actually think Fiora is like maybe a slightly better deck than Rek'Sai, right? So it's like, okay, well then it's like even a step down from Fiora. I think Rek'Sai is an awesome pick to go for a best of because I think you're gonna have a really good time, and if you have some mastery over the deck, you're gonna beat some Dravens along the way. Like that matchup is not like bad for you. I wouldn't call it favored. I think you have draws that make you feel really favored. Which is great. That's where you want to be against the best deck in the room, right? Is like I'm playing a deck, my best of deck can beat the best deck in the room, and that is important because if you can't, then you are praying that you just get the right like sequence of matchups. And we saw this with like this was set 1. This was like bringing Lux for the best of, right? It was like you have basically a 0% chance to beat a Kaisa, like as close to 0 as I've seen many matchups in my history of playing TCGs. So it's like, if you show up, you better hope that it's 0 Kaisas that you're hitting, and then maybe you'll win the best of, right? Like, or you hit 3 Kaisas and lose, and then win your next 6 against no Kaisas. So that's like where we're at with looking at these best ofs, and I think Rek'Sai doesn't fall in that category because you actually have like a reasonable game into the best deck. Yeah, I think the deck is really cool and it's pretty strong. So.
Yeah,
I worry about Ornn. Yeah. And my reason for that is that it is, at least the rumblings that I have heard are very much about an all-in version. And yes, it has the capacity to just completely lock people out of the game if you can, set up on a spot, land crown guard, and just never let your opponent interact with it. But the problem is you need to have the right cards at the right time to make sure they never interact with it. And it's very easy to just accidentally draw the wrong half of your deck, right? I haven't seen it go so far as to worry about folks putting like Thermo Beam in the sideboard, but if that was something that people are legit worried about, Thermo Beam is very problematic because it's just Wind Wall that's going to stop that.
Yeah.
And guess what decks can run Thermo Beam? Some of the best decks in the format, right? Draven, Annie, Kai'Sa.
I will say a lot of them are like, a lot of them do have Thermo in the board. Sometimes they've been like cutting back on that because Ornn became a lot less popular. But I would be more surprised, especially with an Azir just finishing like second place at a tournament, which is probably likely to increase the number of Azirs. But also, if you're just considering best of prizing, like it is a pretty big trump card to just kind of have the Thermo. I'd be a little bit more surprised to see like no Thermos making it into boards than like if we did see Thermos, right? Like I'd be more, I would be expecting there to be Thermos.
And with the best of prizing, I would even go so far as to say that it's more likely to have the Thermos come back. Because I'm with you. I'd seen them also kind of like go away because Ornn was less popular. But now with the best of, you do potentially have to worry about the Azirs, the Ornns. It's great in Elution. Sorry, Blev. There's a number of decks that it's
not that good into
pretty
my version
good.
Of Elution.
It's even okay. Sure, but like even if you're worried about like the random Renata, for example, well, all those gold tokens are gear too. And sometimes just making it so that they can't do like a warp combo on you is good enough. So I think Thermo Beam is one of those cards that I would be very, very concerned about being in folks' sideboard if I was going to bring that deck.
Into Aurelia as well. So there's lots. Yeah.
It covers a lot. The biggest thing, and literally thinking about this made me not want to play Ornn, because Ornn was a heavy contender for deck I was going to play in Bologna. Just the thought of having this awesome setup and it doesn't matter how big my Ornn is. My opponent plays Bryn here and Rebuke, and I just doesn't matter what's in your hand. Doesn't matter how much setup you have. The game is just over. As long as they did anything before then. So I'm like, I'm just choosing not to lose that way. I'm going to play the Bryn here instead. It's a big
issue for that deck.
Real big. So I'll be hoping to dodge that. I'll be hoping to dodge Ornn, because I don't think I played some practice matches against Sasuke, who's been grinding Ornn. Yeah. He's been the Ornn demon, and I got apps. I had a pretty cool play, and it got blown out by a Janna. And I was not ready or playing around Janna or thinking about Janna. And I thought I still had game, but I was one off from it being relevant. And then I just lost the game. So that was fun. But
if Sasuke's playing Vegas or Bologna or whatever, he's definitely a big contender for the Ornn medal, just because I know, like, literally just frame one, day one, he has been doing nothing but playing Ornn and trying to refine that deck and his play with it. But I think that like brings to the topic of, you mentioned these two other decks coming in, and the medal cards existing for every single deck in the game right now, right? We got the news that they'll last for it was 3 sets basically.
3 sets,
So Origins will be around through Unleashed, and then they should be gone. That's correct, right? Like 3 total counting the set that it comes out, right? So we still have it for now alongside the Spirit Forge medals, and this changes your matchup tables. This changes your spreads. It becomes this really interesting game in the early stages of the tournament in particular, where you're dodging blue shells. You are trying to dodge these decks that you have not prepped for, that you have not teched for, and that you maybe do not know the matchup. And guess what? If someone is trying to play for a medal and you're playing a popular deck, they know the matchup, right? So that is where these become really tricky. And you need to be as prepared as you can, and that's where, we talked about Thermo and being a sideboard slot that can hit, somewhat into some of the primary decks, but also hits multiple of these tertiary like ideas that people would have for a medal. And I think a lot of that is going to be important when it comes to showing up. I think there is like this maybe misconception among some players where they think they'll just kind of like outskill the weaker deck. But if they don't have any reps, then it's possible that even some of the better players are going to make mistakes. And you need to be able to find your way through these kind of uncharted waters in the early stages of the tournament. Luckily, only 2 sets. Not that weird to have some amount of reps against every legend to at least kind of have a basic understanding. But, you know, like, I'm betting that most Draven players have not played any reps into a Leona. And that deck actually can have some really good game into you if you are playing improperly. I think if you fully understand what Leona does, and like you know how you should play into that matchup, I think Draven is favored. I think Draven should have a good time. But I think if you make missteps, you can get punished really hard, because stun as a keyword is just so punishing, right? Like, so I do think there's like some really big openings for players to get kind of beat up by some metal card players early rounds, and everyone's hoping that they can, you know, get those first few wins and escape the minds of metal card players who are likely going to be sitting in that like X1, X2 bracket. You know, the metal card players are still like, if you're playing for a metal card, I'm a metal card player, Blev's a metal card player. It's still possible for us to day 2. A lot of metal card players are going to day 2, right? It is going to happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, oftentimes they're going to take a loss somewhere because you're playing a suboptimal deck. You're going to take a loss. So, you know, staying in the XO bracket is coveted to escape the world of whatever deck is possible in the entire game of Riftbound.
Yeah. Well, I also think that there's maybe a misconception that it's like, oh, you're a metal card player. Well, I mean, it's like, it's different than if you're playing like a rogue or just like a rogue deck or just like a tier 2, tier 3 deck in Magic, where it's like, oh, this person's being just doesn't want to play the best thing. They're just playing for fun. Like they're maybe a casual player. It's like, no, there are metal card players who are legitimately very, very good at the game and are going to be playing at a very high level and definitely know their matchup into Draven better than Draven knows their matchup into insert metal card deck.
Look, what you are saying is like beautifully personified at Houston, right? We have Jeff Jones, Yu-Gi-Oh legend, like one, you know, insanely top. He's playing Lee Sin. He's at top tables on Lee Sin, makes day 2, wins that medal, right? We have Florian Christian Logan, multiple PT top 8s, like, you know, insane top 8s in Flesh and Blood. You look, he's playing Bully Bear on the top table, right? Like, these players are players that if they decided to play the best deck, you could argue that they could make a run for top 8. They could make a run to win the whole tournament, right? But they've decided that to them, it's more valuable, and maybe because they have other games that they're prioritizing and they don't want to spend as much time, like, fully doing everything to make sure that they can be the very best at the game, but instead just spend enough time to be the very best at a deck, and that's fine. However their approach has been towards going towards a medal, they've prioritized winning that medal. And I promise you, they know how to play that deck, and they know how to play it against whatever else is in the format. And they'll always have that matchup gap on you. And I think that is such a cool thing of the best ofs. But yeah, as you're saying, right? Like, it's not just some random guy having fun on his pet deck.
Yeah,
sometimes
that's just me.
Sometimes it is like a PT champion. You know, sometimes it is like one of the best players in the room, and they're playing the worst deck in the room. But they might still beat you because you don't know what you're doing against them, and they know everything that they're supposed to be doing.
You just get to opt into whatever tournament you want to play. Like if you want to play this, what side tournament do you want to play inside of the main tournament? Which is just, I mean, it all ties back. We've talked about it for so long. The metal card thing is just so cool. It's just awesome. Like the atmosphere it creates, the conversation it creates. Like if this was a like Magic Pro Tour, when talking about the prizing, we would say, and the players are playing for $40,000 USD and invites to blah, blah, blah. And then immediately move on to literally anything else. Whereas every single week in the entire texture of the conversation of this tournament is entirely different. Yeah. What's happening with best ofs? How is that going to impact the tournament? Are we going to see a bet? Like all these things? It's just whoever came up with that, just,
to my understanding, me and Jacob from Rift Lab are fighting in the parking lot over Fiora. I've heard that he's also potentially on Fiora. So, you know, there we go. We're going to be battling it out. Turn him sideways versus Rift Lab for that Fiora.
Winner gets to use my alt art set brawler in their deck.
Yeah.
That's actually
after the winner.
Thug
play the mirror match.
I think it's really nice of you to have that fight in the parking lot, because then the people card slinging with Blevins in the alley can watch.
Yeah, there you go.
Literally card slinging.
Gambit tryouts.
Yeah. We probably have other things to talk about for sure.
Pool, we can talk a little bit about the prize pool. Didn't we mention that you get the Bone Shiver as the participation prize?
Oh yeah, we did get that.
This is remember, I think these events get kind of blown out of proportion because of the the amount of people trying to sign up and how few there are. Because this is a regional qualifier, by the way. This is not, this is just a qualifier. The prize pool is still decent. I don't want to do the math on this, and I don't have it off the top of my head. Is it 25K? Is it 20? Something like that? But
9 plus 4 is 13.
And then we have 3,000 for second, 2,000 for third and fourth, 1,000 for fifth through eighth, and then it goes to 500 out to 16th, and then 250 out to 32nd. This time around, though, with the Swiss Day 2, this cut feels better. I think the cut felt a lot worse. I mean, I know it's the same cut, but it is a worse feeling when it was cut to top 64, play a best of one to see if you're in prizing or not. So I think that Day 2, just being Swiss, cutting to top 32, I do think this feels a little bit better, even though it's unchanged. And then the promos for top 8, there is a Blade of the Rune King as the basic top 8 promo, and then the champion prize of the Blueprint Blade of the Rune King. I believe this was from the what's it called? The Ruination.
The Art of Runeterra? Yeah.
It was from it. I don't know if this is like the exact art of it, but it is very like reminiscent. There was some like blueprint type sketch art from that event. And I think it's cool. I think it's pretty controversial in the sense that some people really hate this like prize card and think it is like kind of lame, kind of not exciting. But also some people absolutely
Good
love
news
this,
is
like,
they're not going to get it.
Probably. I think often anybody complaining about this is unlikely to be the person who's actually winning it. That is a very funny point, but yeah, it is quite true. What do you guys think about it? Because it grows on me. I like it, but it does, I will admit, not specifically feel grand in that way, right? Because it is by purpose kind of more this like humble blueprint version of a card.
So here's the thing. I really like the card. I think that the blueprint thing is great. What I don't like is the mat that goes with it because there's so much empty space. I feel like if they took the same art and they tilted it like diagonal across for the mat or did something, turn them sideways is what I always say. But it's just one of those things where when I'm looking at it, that's what jumps out to me about the mat. In the card where you have the vertical framing, I think it's fine. I actually really like it. So I don't know. I think that if I'm, blessed enough to be taking first place and winning, $6,000 of the $25,000 prize pool, because that's the total, and then I get a cool card and I get a cool mat and whatever, I'm not going to complain. But if I was going to make an aesthetic complaint, it's just that the mat has so much empty space.
I like the trying out a new thing. The new thing being like the first one was Misfortune alt art. The second was Ezreal alt art. And those were very much like it was an alt. They were both league splashes, I think, or league, not splashes, league
they were like
skins.
Yeah, they were
prestige skins.
Yeah.
So leaning into it, they're a bit over the top in terms of like, I guess, looking different. There's more going on in the card for sure. It's kind of a, I can't think of a word that's not gaudy, and that's not really the right word, but like it's over the top. This is very much the like simplicity. It's just the sword, but I do for like a trophy, which is what this is. Remember, this is going to come in a plaque.
In a plaque.
It's going to be in a plaque, and you can do whatever you want with it after that. That's your prerogative. And the same with the playmat too. I don't know if we've seen champion playmats before. I don't know if we had them, I don't remember seeing them physically, at least. So I don't know if those come in with some sort of commemorative plaque or something. But
I saw it physically.
Oh, okay, got it. But like I like a simplistic trophy. It doesn't need to necessarily have all the bells and whistles and a million different tassels and things on it. Like just, like the Oscars or something is a very simplistic trophy, or, I like that style as well. We don't have a consistent theme. It's probably going to be a different card every time. I like them experimenting with things.
Yeah.
Maybe this one doesn't knock it out of the park for everyone. Again, statistically, you are not going. The card is not going to be yours. So who cares? Yeah, not going to be yours.
You don't have to buy it. But what else? What else?
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. Like, end of the day, if you win a tournament and you get a prize like this, I'm not gonna care what the card looks like, to be completely honest with you, because there's like this like status of it.
Yeah, because the money that comes from it is gonna all look the same.
What I have that. I agree with Charmer on the playmat. I think a little too much empty space, but it still looks kind of clean in that way, where it's just like this one sword in the middle. It just feels like it could be more. I think what would be really have been cool is this blueprint style being used for like a series of overnumbered cards in the future. I think that would be an amazing like overnumbered set for equipment. I think that's awesome. Like blueprints of like some of these equipment, like we see with the Bone Shiver, right? It's the same kind of style. And it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they use for prize cards or not, and they could still do that in the future. They could do a bunch of blueprints as these overnumbered cards, but it is a curious step away from the previous ones. And I think, as you said, it's neat that they're just like going to experiment and go with these different ideas, because this is like such a huge departure from the MF and the Ezreal.
I do really like that that we're getting an alt art promo for participation rather than the like just the little promo mini stamp in the middle, which unfortunately is the top 8 prize, which is I think
it's a miss.
It's a little bit lame. It's a miss. But I am glad. I would rather, like, it would have made sense to me if the Blade of the Ruined King regular art was the participation and then the top 8 was the Bone Shiver, even though it kind of mismatches with the championship. But I'm glad that we're going to be getting those, because I think it does, like, the prizing for specifically the participation promos do matter to me, because I think it is part of the allure and the glitz and the glam of going to a bigger event like this. Getting these promos that may be worth something, or at least like literally or monetarily worth something, but also just like worth something to me to go. Like, it's a cool thing. It's a memento. It's all like, Grand Prix promos back in the day were always a fun thing. And the Grand Prix playmats were always a fun thing to collect and get as we went to those events back in the day for Magic. So I think it is important to have those be different than just like the little promo thing at the bottom, which they have improved. Like, that promo symbol does look cool, but I want alt art if possible.
I will say I love the Bone Shiver. It's not my favorite equipment from the set.
No, I hate the card itself.
I love that they went with that with the blueprint design, because it's just a club, right? Like the big win trophy is this iconic, legendary one-of piece of equipment wielded by Viego, and then the other one is like, it's really just a club. Like, did we need a blueprint for it? Like, it's a club.
You're putting disrespect on Trundle's
Trundle.
I am.
His true ice mace. The king
I
of
am
the
putting
trolls?
so much disrespect on that troll.
Also, nice little touch is that we don't have a quick reminder text on the promo. That's a big thumbs up for me.
There you go.
Like, I like having the clean textless, or as textless as possible cards like that for like higher rarity and promos and stuff. So I do like that. Let's see, what else do we have? So we did get we did get a PSA, and if you're playing in Bologna, this is a good one on how combats work when dealing with Draven. The TLDR is you just get wrecked. If you think it's a combat, it probably is, and if you think you are getting screwed out of the deal, you probably are. Because if there's a unit on both sides at a battlefield, that's a combat. And if there's no longer a unit on your side and there is one on Draven's side, that's a one combat, and that's a card drawn.
Yep.
And it does not matter how that happens. It
the
just
PSA,
is.
I believe, is like fully. It's if you really are like wanting to get the minutia, I think the PSA does have some amount of it in there. But like the trying to cover some of the weird scenarios where it's like, I don't know, if you get pushed out and you ride the win back in, like, did he win a combat? No, as long as you did it within the same showdown, right? Like, there's a lot of these like weird little things, but realistically, I think the main gist of the PSA was like, if you get pushed out, that was a one combat. Sorry about it. Like, that's just is what it is.
Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to quickly talk about a thing that has popped up because we of course are now about a week into release for Spirit Forge. We've seen a lot of boxes and boosters and everything opened, and this is I wouldn't say an issue. This is something that came up and was not super loud in Origins, but I noticed it. We had chats about this internally because I noticed it very early, but it seems like more people have noticed it now, or maybe it's more prevalent in this in Spirit Forge. But we have seen duplicate boxes coming around where people are opening up the same exact cards in a box.
Yeah. It was that one
print
thing,
runs.
Was it the same? Was it like as bad as it is now? I feel like now it's just people are posting like literally card for card ones, when before it was like, I feel like these rares show up next to each other. But maybe it is just the same, and it's just like yeah.
My working theory is that it probably was the same in set one. However, in set one, everyone was just excited to open stuff, so I think they weren't looking at it. Whereas in set two, we know that there's a problem with the packs, a la the missing rares, for example. So I think people are going in looking to kind of scrutinize it. We also know that they were unable to address the rare problem for set two. So the printing stuff that was in set one is likely the same as set two. And my third part of my working theory is simply that it seems like just overall more Spirit Forged product made it into circulation in this first wave than the first set. So it also just might be a volume thing where there's enough out there that people are noticing it more because there's enough out there.
Yeah. Long and short of it is print runs are like this. I think that there are ways that production companies can minimize this to an extent, but like if you look at a large enough sample size, as someone who used to open up hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of packs a month, you notice patterns. Sometimes you notice them quicker, and sometimes they're easier or harder to spot, but they definitely do exist. This was, I would say, on the relatively egregious side, but it's also not like 100% like, oh, I open up this rare, I now know what the rest of the box is, because the Draven switcheroo conspiracy theorists, every time when I was in the store, every time I would open up one, I'd be like, oh, the conspiracy theorists are right. And then I'd open up a Draven without a switcheroo and be like, oh, conspiracy theorists are wrong. And it was about 50-50. So anyway, something to keep a lookout for. And good luck on all your opens and pulls. And hopefully you don't open the same box as your buddy. Or maybe it is a good thing to open the same box, because then you've got multiple copies. Anyway, let's move on as we wrap up the show to our favorite segment of the show. That is, of course, the mailbag. We've got one here from Elkel Music.
Last week, remember, Blevins, we asked everybody about their pre-rift events and to give us some stories. So we got a few things from our people.
Got a few ones.
Yeah, take it away.
Absolutely.
Local Music.
Elkel Music said, at my pre-rift, dude just attached boost of swiftness to his Yone promo and then just bounced between battlefields every turn, destroying everything in his opponent's base. Easily countered and constructed, but in limited, it was unstoppable. I think that last part of that comment was really what makes limited the best to me, is like, oh yeah, this would just be completely unplayable or just not good enough in constructed, and in limited, just get to tear up a game. And that's awesome. Loved it. Very awesome there. And our last one here is from Jake Kassar. Says, I think the length of skirmishes is really a prizing problem. You said yourself you'd be down for that time in a win box, etc. If the winner got an exclusive special promo, or if there was enough product for bigger prize support, it'd be better. I don't mind it personally as it is now, but I don't like top heavy prizes, and that's just a me thing. I have seen and know more competitive players that would like it. Yeah, I really think the skirmishes that I have experienced and have heard from anecdotally have been Wild West in terms of what they actually are. Like the skirmishes I went to were like pretty casual, but still very long. Like I technically won the event. I got the like pricing that comes with it and 2 packs or 3 packs or whatever. Like, yeah. So like that did not seem, I would agree. It does feel like a pricing issue. I have also heard the opinion that like, yeah, I don't want to like, it is not, I'm not the type of player that wants to play a high stakes tournament for like winner gets a box. And if you don't top 8, you get nothing. I get that. That's what I'm used to, but I'm also open for like, maybe there's alternatives where the pricing is flatter, but there's still like a juicy thing at the end of a tournament to make it worth staying for the top 8.
Yeah, like I don't need it to be that like super top heavy. It just and I think that we're in agreement with Jake here and kind of somewhat across the board on skirmishes just felt like they needed to have more prizing. And I think that the one of the big things for that was probably just product shortages, right? Like reducing the amount that
and the promos were
the promos were
like,
not,
even if it was alt art, like if it was alt art Blitzcrank, alt art Tryndamere, I think we were having a different conversation and we're like, yeah, these were cool. I wanted to collect these. Like, I'm glad I got my set, etc. Even though I'm not going to use them. Like, I don't think anyone besides the most diehard collectors were like, boy, I really need to get that Blitzcrank that looks slightly different. And you could easily not know that it's the promo one.
Yep. Yeah. I think that was the big thing. And honestly, I expect this to kind of get improved as the game goes on. And we'll see if that's the case. Maybe this is a thing we were talking about again in another, 3 months or something. Is like, hey, this next season of skirmishes also was like, I don't know, I really just wanted to go get my one buy and be done with it. Or maybe that also might just vary local to local. Some people are maybe just playing like Swiss rounds and being done and getting out in a few hours, and the low prizes are not a huge deal because you went and you had fun. You played like a big Nexus night basically that had a buy at the end of it, which is that's also fine for skirmishes. I think it is that level of competition. So
I would just add that I feel like this is something that maybe corrects itself when we get more product, because from store to store, if they want to do something like, hey, we're going to do this, but we're going to do a pack per win or whatever, there just was no product for anyone to do that this first round. So it is what it is.
Fair. Yeah, I think we'll see a shift here for Spirit Forge. And I don't know that we've even had the promos for this season announced yet. So I don't remember it at the very least. But anyway, that is going to be it for this one. Again, if you want your questions read on the show, potentially, leave them in the comment section below for our mailbag next week. But that is going to be it. That is a wrap for this episode 35, aka season 2, episode 1, because the last episode was episode 0 for season 2. Everyone knows that. But that will be it. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But Forecast Nova for Charmer for the whole Term Sideways crew, I've been Blevins. We'll see you.